There are so many people who feel this immense yearning and longing to reconnect to the divine. Almost everybody I talk to in the circles and the tribes that I engage with, that's kind of what they want. It's really amazing. I have never heard so many people express it in that way. And of course, it's amazing because is there any way out of this mess that we're in? I would say the challenge for many people is that they don't know how to do it, what it means, what keeps them separate from the divine. These are all questions that we need to look at, of course, inside of ourselves. And each one of us has a different path that has led us to where we are now and who we have become. And from that angle, we share the wisdom and the insights that we have received along the way. In my own experience, the main connection for me has been the teachings of Joel Goldsmith from The Infinite Way. And there are some other teachers who practiced what he taught, who came later. Joel, he passed on in 1964, so he hasn't been around here for a while. There was a teacher called Herb Fitch who kind of continued the work, and he died in the 90s last century. But their teachings are still available. You can listen to them online, or there's books and tapes if this is something that resonates with you. But for me, that's been the biggest game changer, to really start seeing through the veil of illusion that we all live in and how to liberate ourselves from it. However, there is another piece that has been equally important for me, and that is that I took the Hakomi training and became a Hakomi therapist. And Hakomi is a way to study yourself and become aware of yourself in mindfulness, with kindness, with love, in a way so you can start unhooking from the parts that we are still stuck in the veil. I find the combination of the two really, really important. And it has also been very helpful for me to go to the Advaita satsangs, or non-duality. I used to go to a number of teachers. The main one was Adyashanti, and that was also very crucial for my own experience. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, everything stopped in me. There was just no more movement to go and do anything, where before I was very gung ho and I wanted to create things and make things happen. And that was all great, nothing wrong with that. But somehow it stopped. There was nothing. There was nothing for years. And I found it was very challenging to just sit there and kind of wait. But looking back now, there was dying to the self, to the Pranila that I have identified with and still do, but to a much lesser degree. And I can see how the Hakomi work, I also call myself a self-love mentor, has been instrumental in being able to be present with the parts of me that I was resisting and trying to get rid of, which is a sure sign of staying in the illusion, staying in the duality, right? Pushing things away. There is me and and that's duality. And there is no way anybody can ever be fully free as long as we are in battle with any part of ourselves. So that was a big part for many years. And that's why I called myself a self-love mentor, and to help others to really bring all the parts back home into the fold of oneness. So after that, what I experienced was that this self that I now was able to love and be present with and be at one with, that was still not the I that I truly am. And the next step in my journey has been to now let go of that. And that, of course, is what a lot of the spiritual teachings talk about, that eventually we need to let that go too. But I'm very, very grateful that I had the Hakomi and other things too, to help unhook from these emotional reactions and emotional attachments, so that I could, instead of being out there, I could bring it home here. And then I have that energy available to maybe a greater purpose, if that's the next step on the journey. So this is where I have landed and am landing daily. It's not just over, it has not just been over for me. For some people, it's like one thing and then that's it. That's not how it's been for me. It's been an everyday coming back here, remembering that I am that I am. The world can still pull me out and believe in things out there, but I have enough presence and stamina maybe to know that I can come back at any time and remember that, oh yeah, this is who I am. And there is no attachment to the world anymore. So for those of us who really long to live the divine life and maybe live thy will, if you use that terminology, we have to let go of everything. And it's not an easy task. It's not easy. It's much easier to work on yourself and feel better and improve yourself and improve your life. It's much easier, but it's really not, because there's still something missing. There's still something pulling, even though you may have worked on the emotional attachment, you may have healed a lot of this duality and this battle inside, and you are in a much, much better place. But that's also not it. It's a better place and it's enjoyable, but it's still not it. So this is the next step for me in what I am sharing in my work as my calling. It feels like there's a new voice coming through that wants to bring that forth for those who resonate with that. But just to summarize, the steps really are to be able to be present with the parts that keep pulling you away from yourself through pain, reactions, anger, all these emotional attachments and discomforts. Those we need to make peace with first. And it is a journey. It really is. And it may be an ongoing journey, but I do know that it does get easier and easier. But we have to do that work. And then once that has happened, then we start living an easier, better life. And many of us start learning how to manifest through the mind. The mind is still duality. This is still where the good and bad happens. But when we are more in control of the mind, then we can start addressing that and attracting things through mental, should we say, manipulation, through mental practices. And it's also a very beautiful place, because it's so much better when the mind is just bullying you around and you have no idea where you're going to go. You're not in control. So there is a lot of truth to learning to control your mind and set boundaries for your mind and be the one who's in charge, not be bullied by it, but say, that's enough. Very important phase two. And then the next one is, how do I let go of the whole thing now? And then see what is left. And then see what it is like to be lived by the divine. If you're somebody who also longs to be at one with the divine, to be guided by the divine, you have to be here where the guidance is. The guidance is not out there and it's not even up here. It comes as an experience, it comes as sensations, feelings, knowings, but it's not happening in the five sense mind. It is coming from your soul sense, and it's learning that language and learning to surrender to that, to really learn to trust it and surrender to that. So if that is your goal or your calling, there are certain steps that need to be followed, that needs to be taken, and they don't need to be in a specific order. We just need to be able to unhook so we can say, okay, thy will be done. My will is the fighting, the duality, the trying to survive, trying to be successful, even trying to be good, even trying to be a good spiritual practitioner. This is all the mind of duality, because when you come in here, there's nothing you need to do. And this is where we can sit and surrender, and then allowing the divine, the energies, the frequencies of the divine, the quantum field of infinite possibilities that can come through. And we do not need to control it or direct it or tell it what we want or what it should do for us, which is the normal prayer or the normal manifestation. We need to rest in that. And with that comes a knowing that it has everything you need. Basically, you are everything you need. And learning to trust that, that's the next chapter. So maybe you are ready for the next chapter. Maybe you need to go back some of the other chapters and polish them a little bit so that it's easier to let go to the full surrender. And you can do that. I know you can do that. All it takes is that you really, really want that. So just check it out and see how deeply you want that. And then take the step that you need to take. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later.